Greg Biffle, a name etched into the annals of NASCAR history, was celebrated for his speed, skill, and unrelenting competitive spirit. On the track, he appeared untouchable, a figure who dominated races and inspired millions. Yet, even the most seasoned champion could not escape the unpredictability of life. On the 18th of December 2025, a tragedy unfolded in North Carolina that would shock the racing world, devastate families, and leave fans struggling to comprehend the enormity of the loss. Today, we recount the funeral arrangements for Greg Biffle, the events leading to his death, and the chilling circumstances surrounding his final moments, based entirely on verified facts. The day began like any other, with preparations for a private flight intended to celebrate a family occasion. Biffle, 55, boarded a Cessna C550 business jet along with his wife Christina, their 14-year-old daughter Emma, and 5-year-old son Ryder. Accompanying them were Dennis Dutton, his son Jack, and Craig Wadsworth. The flight was meant for a birthday celebration, a joyful gathering of family and friends. But what should have been a moment of happiness would quickly turn into a nightmare. Minutes after taking off from Statesville Regional Airport, the aircraft began an emergency maneuver, circling back toward the runway. Witnesses observed the plane attempting to land, but in a catastrophic turn of events, it crashed at the end of the runway. All 7 passengers aboard were killed instantly. The tragedy sent shockwaves not only through the NASCAR community, but also across the nation, as fans, colleagues, and the public struggled to process the sudden, violent loss. Adding to the chilling nature of the event, Christina sent a brief text to her mother, Kathy, just moments before the crash. "We're in trouble." Those 4 words now carry an immense weight, a premonition of the disaster that was about to unfold. Kathy received the message only minutes before losing her daughter and grandchildren. She later described the experience as incomprehensible and devastating, a painful reminder of how quickly life can change. This final communication has since become symbolic of the fragility and unpredictability of life. Investigators quickly began examining the circumstances of the crash. The Cessna C550 is a reliable aircraft, widely used for private flights and capable of handling challenging conditions. However, something went catastrophically wrong. Authorities are analyzing mechanical factors, pilot performance, sudden emergencies, and environmental influences to determine the precise cause of the accident. Radar data, flight logs, and witness statements are all part of the ongoing investigation, as officials seek answers to questions that may never be fully resolved. The human toll of the crash is staggering. Greg Biffle was more than a racing champion. He was a mentor, a father, and a friend. His career included 19 Cup Series wins and 92 top 5 finishes, and he was recognized as one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers. Yet beyond statistics, his influence extended to shaping the culture of racing, guiding younger drivers, and inspiring fans with his determination, focus, and strategic skill. His passing represents both a personal and communal loss, leaving a void that extends far beyond the racetrack. Christina Biffle was celebrated for her warmth, compassion, and dedication to her family. She supported her children, Emma and Ryder, creating an environment of love, stability, and encouragement. The suddenness of their deaths underscores the precariousness of life and the reality that tragedy can strike even in what should be safe, familiar surroundings. Emma and Ryder, innocent and full of potential, lost their lives before they could fully begin their journeys, making the heartbreak nearly unimaginable for those who knew them. The timing of the crash only deepened the tragedy. A flight meant to celebrate a birthday, a joyful, intimate gathering became a scene of devastation within minutes. This juxtaposition of planned celebration and sudden catastrophe is a stark reminder of life's unpredictability. Families everywhere can imagine the horror of losing loved ones so abruptly, a reality that makes the story all the more compelling and heartbreaking. Investigators continue to examine all aspects of the flight. Maintenance records, pilot certifications, and technical factors are under scrutiny. While private jets are generally considered safe, accidents remain possible. Environmental conditions, procedural errors, and sudden mechanical failures are all being investigated. Despite technological advances in safety measures, life remains fragile. And this accident illustrates that even routine plans can end in tragedy. The message sent by Christina moments before the crash has become a defining detail of the story. "We're in trouble" encapsulates fear, helplessness, and an acute awareness of imminent danger. For Kathy, it serves as a permanent reminder of the moments preceding the accident, moments that no intervention could alter. The text embodies the human experience of vulnerability in the face of unforeseen disaster. The funeral provided a space to honor the lives lost. Friends and family shared stories of Greg's skill, leadership, and mentorship, Christina's devotion, and the promise and innocence of Emma and Ryder. Memories were recounted, and the lives of Dennis, Jack, and Craig were also acknowledged, highlighting the impact each individual had on those around them. Despite the grief, these ceremonies allowed a measure of closure, the opportunity to mourn collectively, and the ability to celebrate the lives of the deceased. The broader NASCAR community continues to mourn the loss of Greg Biffle. Fellow drivers, teams, and fans grapple with the sudden absence of a figure who represented dedication, talent, and perseverance. The deaths have left a lasting impression on everyone connected to the sport, emphasizing both the personal and communal dimensions of grief. Tributes honor not only accomplishments on the track, but also character, mentorship, and personal influence. The events surrounding Biffle's final flight are a reminder of human fragility. Life can change in an instant, and even the most experienced individuals are vulnerable to sudden, unforeseen events. The juxtaposition of a planned celebration with catastrophic loss underscores how quickly ordinary moments can transform into tragedy. The Biffle plane crash is a sobering lesson in unpredictability, emphasizing the necessity of cherishing loved ones and valuing every moment. In reflecting on Greg Biffle's legacy, it is clear that his contributions to NASCAR, mentoring, and the community were extraordinary. His career achievements, including numerous victories and recognition as one of the sport's greatest drivers, are only part of his story. Beyond racing, Biffle influenced countless lives through guidance, inspiration, and personal connections. Christina's support, the children's promise, and the lives of those accompanying the flight were all integral to the narrative of love, family, and community disrupted by sudden tragedy. The funeral allowed for collective mourning, remembrance, and reflection. Stories shared during the service celebrated accomplishments, personal qualities, and relationships. The emphasis on human connection, Greg's mentorship, Christina's devotion, the children's innocence, and the bonds shared with Dennis, Jack, and Craig highlighted what truly mattered, the lives lived fully, even if tragically shortened. Public and private grief continues to intersect. Fans, colleagues, and communities honor the Biffle family, while investigators work to understand the technical and procedural causes of the crash. The haunting text, the abrupt loss, and the sequence of events remain central to public consciousness. This tragedy, marked by sudden death and ominous forewarning, will remain in memory for years to come. Ultimately, the deaths of Greg Biffle, Christina, Emma, Ryder, Dennis Dutton, Jack Dutton, and Craig Wadsworth serve as a reminder of life's fragility, unpredictability, and impermanence. The funeral provided a moment of reflection, mourning, and honor. It celebrated lives that were impactful, loved, and cherished, offering a space for family, friends, and fans to acknowledge loss and preserve memory. The legacy of Greg Biffle, both on and off the track, endures. He's remembered not only for his championships and records, but for his mentorship, character, and connection with the racing community. Christina, Emma, and Ryder are remembered for the love and joy they brought into the lives of those around them. The crash and the events surrounding it, including the haunting premonition, serve as a sobering lesson in life's unpredictability. As investigations continue, the funeral remains a moment to honor lives lost, celebrate achievements, and acknowledge the human impact of sudden tragedy. Greg Biffle's influence, Christina's care, the children's promise, and the broader circle of those who perished will not be forgotten. Their legacy preserved through memory, tribute, and shared grief, continues to resonate with fans, colleagues, and communities worldwide. This story is a reminder that even the strongest, fastest, and most accomplished among us are not immune to sudden tragedy. It emphasizes the importance of family, legacy, and human connection in the face of unimaginable loss. Greg Biffle's life and the lives lost alongside him will be remembered for courage, achievement, and love, leaving an indelible mark on the world that transcends statistics, victories, and fame.